Alright, so what is up guys, this is Drakane here, welcome back to the fourth method that can be used to tame up a Quetzal. Alright, as always, the first things first, the Quetzals take the Rex Kibble. For the Rex Kibble you need the Rex eggs, prime meat jerky, long grass, and 2 major berries, 3 fibers and the water. And this method is the Tapejera method, so we are going to be using this guy over here in order to tame up the Quetzal. So in this particular method you can use either a long neck rifle or toxicant arrows and a compound bow. Well, you can use trank arrows even, it doesn't matter at all. Whatever it is, you need the Tapejera for this particular method, and you have to be on the first person view and your Tapejera must be following you. Alright, that's how it would work. So the method is to just go up it and shoot it with the arrows, and well, this method falls to the fourth place because everyone can get a Tapejera, and with the Tapejera method you can actually control, most of the time you can control which direction you want the Quetzal to go. So there is a bit of control there, which is lacking in some other cases. Unlike the first two, you are in perfect control in the first three methods. Yeah. Alright, so the thing to do, your Tapejera must be on neutral or passive and just shoot them. Whatever weapon you choose to use for this must be something you are very familiar with. I am very familiar with the bow, which is why I am using the bow almost always. Alright, and the trick is to let it get out of render distance. Catching up with the Quetzal is a bit difficult because of the fact Quetzals are really fast compared to most other flyers. So you have to just let it run out of render distance a bit and wait for him to reappear, which is taking a hell of a time. Alright, so there you go. I just shot past you. And try to gain headshots as much as possible. Even if it's not possible to gain headshots, go for body shots even, it doesn't matter at all, because the Tapejera has a very big fat butt. You can keep shooting at it very efficiently. Alright, that will miss. Try to put as much arrows into this guy as much as possible, and then LUD aggroed onto me, which is good. Now this guy is trying to fly towards the swamp, which is something I wish to avoid because the swamp is a dangerous region. So you can just fly towards the swamp and start shooting from that direction, so that will force this guy to just going in the opposite direction. Most of the time that works, sometimes it won't. Let's try to get a clean shot on you, buddy. Just stop moving around a bit. Well, the reason I'm using the compound bow for this is you can use a crossbow with the same efficiency, but I use a compound bow for this because you can keep shooting much more faster because it doesn't have a long reload like the compound bow does, like the crossbow does. So you can keep shooting faster, and the advantage it has over a normal bow is the fact that the arrows are pretty much going straight forward, like it doesn't arch downwards. The normal bow, it arches actually, the arrows do arch a lot, so yeah, you will have problems with getting perfect shots like that. So it's better off to just use a compound bow for most of the items, or a crossbow, because crossbows also make the arrow go straight forwards. The arching downwards is very less in the compound bow as well, crossbow as well. So well, I'm getting tongue twisted right now. There's nothing I can do about it. That just happens. If you can't go for headshots, just shoot his fat butt. It will work the same. Alright, just like that. It's pretty easy to keep shooting this guy. Headshot. Yeah. So what I'm going to do now is just keep on shooting this fellow like this, and shutting up and concentrating on this because I'm getting tongue twisted and I'm missing my shots as well. Alright, so you de-aggroed onto me, which is good. You're flying towards the swamp, which is bad. So let's just keep doing this. Alrighty, so this guy is knocked out and in a relatively safe area. Alright, so if you guys just paid attention close, I'm not going to speed it up. It's not too fast. Not the usual 10 times or 4 times speed, so I'm sure you guys could keep up with the way it was working at all. So what I did was I basically just stay at a little distance away from this guy. So let me just put the kibble into this fellow. Alright, so if you do not have the kibble, you will definitely have to use up some extra items as well. Let's grab some meat. You eat meat all. Great. Alright, so the thing that I did over there was, first of all, I'm going to kill that raptor. Alright, just remember to get rid of raptors, terrorbirds, saber-tooths, rexes even. Yeah, they are all troublesome. Alright. Right. Well, that gave me a little bit of meat. Well, the trick with this entire process is that when this guy is trying to go to certain direction, as you saw, this is pretty close to the redwoods. It can't be helped. These fellows, the Quetzals, always insist on going close to the redwoods. It's one of their major nationalities. It seems they are obsessed with the redwoods completely. You cannot actually stop them going towards the redwood, but you can just keep them away from the redwoods and the swamp as much as possible. That is by just well, when it just starts flying towards the redwood, the thing that you have to do is no. Oh, come on. I absolutely hate you. Raptors anymore? Oh, that almost gave me a heart attack. Alright, so as I was saying, the way you can stop these fellows from getting going into redwoods is just staying like if this going flying towards the redwoods, just get out of render distance, or this guy despawns, and then fly towards him, because afterwards the Quetzal will just, when it appears, it will just be moving randomly in whichever direction it wants to go. So you do that process. Afterwards, just fly past the Quetzal towards the redwoods and keep a distance. Just you have to stay at a certain distance from the creature, the Quetzal, otherwise the Quetzal will just fly towards you and just fly away from you. You have to avoid that from happening. So just try to keep like a small gap, and like that you will be able to just stop it from going straight into the redwoods. Yeah, this is pretty close. It was a bit of a close thing. It was a close call actually, but still it was successful. And it's not always really easy to tame up a Quetzal. Well, I'm almost always using compound bow, because I'm really good at the compound bow. It's quite easy to use the compound bow actually compared to a long neck rifle. It's just my choice. You can use a long neck rifle if you're familiar with it. Whatever it is, the tranking thing that you're going to use, the weapon you're going to use to trank out the creatures, must be something you're very familiar with, because if you are not familiar with that weapon, you'll just end up missing most of the shots and wasting tranks and lowering this guy's health and all. As you guys see, it is pretty close. 6,000 health only remaining. Usually I will be able to knock this guy up with 8,000 health if I just trap this guy up, but nope, I didn't trap him up. So 6,000. Well, another important fact that you have to remember is that when this guy despawns actually out of the distance, what happens then is that the topper stops dropping. Yeah, so just remember that, and you have to maintain a constant rate of fire on this fellow, because the Quetzals lose their topper fast as well. So I'm just going to babysit this guy, going around in circles, surrounding this guy like this, so that nothing can just come up on me, nothing will sneak up on me. Having a flying tame is important. And yeah, it was pretty close. If it had fallen down, I'd be in a little bit more serious problem, because Sarcos, Capros and Titanoboas live down there, even though they cannot get up here. So I'm gonna go ahead and babysit this dude now. Alright guys, last feed coming up, and you are all tamed up. Alright, this is majestic. Alright, let's just put the saddle on you, and let's just talk about the precautions that you should take in order to, when you're just doing this method. and quickly grab back my Kibble, grab it back and transfer this across. Alright, so when you're just doing this method, you have to make sure, you have to do your best to make sure that the Quetzal doesn't fly into the redwoods forest or the swamp biome, because the redwoods forest there is a lot of carnos and other bad stuff, and the swamp has extra bad items, well, creatures, whatever. Alright, and the second fact, you have to bring lots of trank arrows or whatever the ammunition you are choosing to just use as knocking out items. Yeah, so be it shocking trank darts or normal trank darts, toxicant arrows or normal trank arrows, whatever the item you wish to use, you have to make sure you bring extra, because you are bound to miss a few shots. And also start early in the morning. You can just start around in-game time of about 5 o'clock, 5 a.m. in the in-game time, because this method will take a bit of time, and at night time it's really almost impossible to just spot the Quetzal. If this is the Eri Quetzal, no problem at all. So server people, no problem for you guys. When it's the Eri time, you can just go ahead and tame Eri Quetzal that way. So other than that, you have to make sure your Tapejera has a lot of stamina, because you will encounter stamina problems if your Quetzal is not having enough stamina. And also your Quetzal has to have at least 150% movement speed for this to be successful, because the Quetzals are kind of fast creatures, so you have to be able to keep up. And after all those items, oh, the most important thing, almost forgot, something that got me killed earlier, not this time, a long time ago, first time I tamed the Quetzal. As you can see, this is the controls. Just go to settings and controls, and in here you see the tap to mount, auto run, those things. I have unchecked the long press dismount button. Yeah, when that has happened to me in the past, even though I use this attack button nowadays, even though I use that button in order to just do the attacks, shoot the arrows and all, sometimes it will register as a long press, and especially when you're on the Tapejera, dismounting means you are falling. You will definitely just hop off the saddle and fall down, and you are most likely to die. If you just hit the ground, you will die and you will be unable to just go after the Quetzal. And also just keep that in mind. You remove that long press to dismount icon, that uncheck that box, and you will be all safe to go. So guys, that will be it about this. Then that's all the precautions that you can take in taming this method, using this method. And if you are in less friendly kind of regions, you can most definitely, yeah, it will be completely okay for you to just use those things, the wooden spikes or the metal spikes, and just build a spike fence around this bugger. Yeah, you can use that method. And do backup saves. To keep a backup save before you start this taming process, and after you knock this guy out, if this guy is not being attacked at the particular instant, you can just build a spike fence around it and quickly just do a backup save then, so you don't have to do the entire knocking out process again. And just remember, you can follow along the exact procedure that I did in order to knock this fellow out, because it isn't as fast as I usually make it to be. And follow those methods and all will be well. You can tame up your own Quetzal quite easily. So this is the fourth method. The reason I put it to the fourth place is that the most important fact being that the Tapejeras are quite easy to obtain. Almost everyone can tame up a Tapejera, and almost everyone has a Tapejera. They are common in the dungeons, common in the wild. So go ahead and enjoy. Oh wait, alright, so that's it then. Alright guys, so thanks for hanging out with me, thanks for watching this. Guys, this is Drakane here. I'll catch up with you guys with the next ones. So if you find this video to be helpful, ring that notification bell and smash that thumbs up, and subscribe as well and never miss a video. So bye guys, until next time.